office saying that they've identified several misleading statements and omissions in the Trump Organization's financial statements. Joining us now, CNN correspondent Kara Scannell and co-host of Early Start and an attorney at law, Laura Jarrett. Kara, let's start with you. Bring us up to speed on this investigation.
Yeah, so this investigation has been going on now for since 2019. Letitia James's office has subpoenaed a lot of documents and records, and what she wants now is the testimony of the former President Donald Trump, his son Donald Trump Jr., and his daughter Ivanka Trump. And through this filing that came out overnight, James's office has alleged that they have substantial evidence of misleading statements, omissions in these financial statements that were provided to lenders, that were provided to insurers, and that were used, some of these appraisals that were used in filings with the IRS. They say that this covers a range of their properties, including a commercial building in Lower Manhattan, golf courses in Scotland and in Los Angeles, several of their properties, and involving a lot of loans. Now, they say that they need to speak with the former president because he signed these financial statements. He was okaying memorandums that related to them. Also, they need to speak with Donald Trump Jr. because he was involved in this property in Lower Manhattan. He also, once his father became president, took over running the company with his brother Eric and had also signed off on these financial statements. And they want to speak with Ivanka Trump because they say that she was the key liaison with Deutsche Bank, and that bank has lent the Trump Organization more than $300 million. New York Attorney General's office alleging that the representations to that bank were false. Now, this is something that will ultimately be up to a judge to decide whether these subpoenas for testimony will go through. We have just gotten some response from the Trump Organization this morning. They've issued a statement where they say the only one misleading the public is Letitia James. She defrauded New Yorkers by basing her entire candidacy on a promise to get Trump at all costs without having seen a shred of evidence and in violation of every conceivable ethical rule. 3 years later, she is now faced with the stark reality that she has no case. So in response to Trump suing her and filing multiple ethical complaints, and on the heels of her failed governor's race, she has no choice but to mislead the public yet again by misrepresenting the facts and ignoring her own inflammatory comments. Her allegations are baseless and will be vigorously defended. We also have a response this morning with Eric Trump up and tweeting. He's saying that this is window dressing, again reiterating his claims that they believe that Letitia James has abused her office and saying that this is all part of her bid to revive her political career.
So, Laura, Letitia James, in this statement overnight, or filing overnight, used the word substantial evidence of fraudulent activity. Substantial evidence, which to an extent she'll need because these aren't easy cases to make. Explain this.
So they're not easy cases, but I think we have to pause here and note just how extremely rare it is to see this type of move from the Attorney General in New York. She is going on the record in a filing after 11 p.m. last night in a tweet saying significant evidence against the former president of the United States and his closest family members. We know that she has had a number of high-level executives into the grand jury, as Kara's done so much great reporting on that. But what she wants is the top-level people, because she's saying she has evidence that they're connected in this some way. I mean, she's laying out here in devastating detail a pattern of fraud. That's what this is at bottom. And the question is just now, who's responsible? And from her perspective, the only way she can get it, who exactly is responsible, is to actually sit them down for a deposition and get her hands on the documents.
All right, Kara Scannell, Laura Jarrett, thank you both very much for reporting and insights this morning. We really appreciate it.